Hi there, good morning. Well, I hope you are well today. I hope your families are well and you're all doing good. Well, I want to read the scripture to you in Proverbs chapter 23, and it's in verse 26. It says, "Oh, my son, give me your heart. Make your eyes take delight in following my ways." Well, this is what God is saying to you. He's saying to me today, there's two things. Give me your heart and delight in following my ways. Well, I read up some interesting facts about the heart. It is the muscular organ and is located in the middle of the chest. The heart begins beating just 4 weeks after conception. Well, we know that when our hearts stop beating, this stops oxygen blood from reaching the brain and the other organs, and we could die. The heart is most probably pretty important, I would say, and it's extremely impressive, we can see. God today wants your heart. He wants the middle, as we said, your very, very being. That is what God, He wants your all today. Above all else, we know the scripture says in Ecclesiastes verse 23 in chapter 4 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Not only are we to follow God's ways, but we are to delight in them, the scripture says. When we delight in something, we know that we display happiness. Another interesting fact about the heart is that happiness and a strong sense of emotional vitality helps lower your risk of heart disease. In my own life and in those around me, I have seen as we delight in following after God, this is when we experience real happiness. When we follow God's ways, we follow God's principles. We know that the scripture says, give Him your heart. So today, give your heart to God, give God your all. Then begin to follow Him, and I know that you will experience true delight. I want to give a quick testimony this morning. Many years ago, when Dion and I weren't married, that's my husband, for very long, we decided we wanted to start a family. We were unable to have children. We went to doctors and they said to us we wouldn't be able to have children. And I remember us trusting God and pleading with God, please, Lord, give us children. And I can say today that God has given us a son and He's given us a daughter. Which we are so grateful for. Our hearts are grateful to God for blessing us with these two miracles. But I remember years have gone by since that. Our children are growing up now. And I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, since living in the UK, I remember having to go for a scan the one day. And I was lying here in the UK on the hospital bed, and the nurse was doing the scan. And I'll never forget, she looked at me and she said to me, "Wow, it's amazing. Your uterus is in the shape of a heart. Your uterus is in the shape of a heart." And when I told her, I had never even heard of that before, and I didn't even know that, and I had been for many, many scans, she began to explain to me that it's actually very rare to have a heart-shaped uterus. She said most women have a pear-shaped uterus. She continued to tell me that when a woman had a heart-shaped uterus, normally they battle to conceive and to fall pregnant. And oftentimes, if they did conceive and fall pregnant, they didn't go full time or full term through their pregnancies. Well, as I lay there that day on that hospital bed, it was just another reminder to me of the faithful, faithful God that we serve. We serve a faithful God. And again, I was just so blessed. And as I came home that night, I remember telling Dion, my husband, about what she had said. And we were grateful again when we realized and how faithful God is once again in our lives. And we were just so thankful to Him for our 2 miracles. Well, I want to encourage you today, talking about a heart, I want to encourage you to give your heart to God, to give God your all today, to begin to follow Him. And I can assure you today, this is when you will experience true delight in your life, when you follow God's principles. Well, have a super blessed day, and we'll chat again soon. God richly bless you today. Bye-bye.